Good morning, people of Earth. Broadcasting live from the 12A studio in Phoenix, Arizona. That's Elston pointing at a computer monitor. Hey, Director Elston.
No.
Good
He
morning,
likes to
guys.
look busy.
This is the 12 Today After Show, an extension of the 12 Today television show from 4:30 to 7, Monday through Friday. Get a little plug in, right?
Yeah, you've
That's
got
Crystal. You know her. I'm
Hello.
Paul. That's Emma. That's Vanessa.
Crystal, it's been great having you the past. We have you tomorrow too.
Yeah,
right?
and tomorrow too. It's awesome getting to hang out with you guys.
Now, if you
fun.
have not joined our show from 4:30 to 7 a.m., your graphics are
Killing it.
Well,
Amazing.
You're very sweet. I mean,
Incredible.
I paid them before to say all this.
It
I mean,
sounds
you guys are way too
dorky, but you break down the weather in such like an intricate and interesting way. Like you talked baseball weather, and it was just so great. So it's so interesting.
Enough about me. No,
I'm
thank you.
serious.
I'm a weather geek. That's why.
Not only that, I learned something new every day sitting
Every
next to
time.
Crystal. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, what? This? I can do this. This is amazing. Game changer.
Thanks.
Baseball
Guys are
players
doing
were
way too
moving on that graphic earlier.
I know.
Yeah.
There was the, little
You're
guys
incredible.
and they're hitting the ball.
Okay, because there was a baseball question that you threw
Yeah.
out in terms of weather. I'm going to try and bring it up right now. But if
Oh,
you
yeah, the
remember
weather
off the top of your
trivia.
head, what was the weather
Well,
trivia
so
question?
the reason why we were having a little fun with weather and baseball is because Vanessa and I are planning on a D-backs win this
tonight,
evening,
yes.
right, against the Padres.
Who isn't?
So the question is, we get a couple of options. What decreases in warmer weather in terms of baseball? And so some of the options were like home runs, do
Batting
those decrease,
average.
batting average, that was the other
On-base
one.
percentage
On base
and
percentage
walks.
and walks, yes.
And the answer was?
And the answer is walks. So
Walks.
walks decrease. All the rest of them increase, generally speaking, in
warmer
weather. Yeah.
We'll teach you something if you watch the show from time to time.
She will.
That means we better open the roof tonight then, right?
Although David, who is watching on Facebook, says the real show begins now. David, I agree with you. This is
Thanks,
the fun
David.
stuff. Okay, so we were talking about social media today. And when is too young for kids to actually have social media accounts? It generated a ton of discussion, and we hope it generates some more in the comments right now. So let us know what you think about this.
Okay.
A lot of kids have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, maybe
Whatever it
all
is.
three, whatever social media site is popular at the time. We were MySpace kids back in the day. According to a nonprofit called Common Sense Media, 78% of teenagers between the ages of 13 and 17 use social networking sites. A different report found the average age for when children signed up is 12 years old.
Wow.
Now, a lot of sites have an age restriction of 13, including Facebook.
Yes.
So, I defer to you, the mother, at this couch right now.
Oh, dear.
How
yeah.
young is too young for social media?
Well, I only have a 3- and a 1-year-old, so I'm so far away
they're too
from.
young.
Yeah, well, the 1-year-old is mature, though. I'm so far away from even delving into that, and I'm so thankful because I feel like I can watch all my other friends and moms make those decisions for me and then figure it out after
Learn
watching
the best
them.
practices,
Yes,
yeah.
and I'm hoping by the time they are that age that social media is completely gone. I'm like literally praying for that there's something else that I have to deal with other than social media because I am not a fan of social media. Sorry if I can say that. I don't like it. I think there's better things that we can spend our time doing. However, if Eli was 13 right now, I would not want him on social media. I think it's too young, in my opinion. And we actually asked you during our show, we had you text us 602-444-1212 and give us your opinions. A lot of people felt the same way. They felt that 13 was way too young to be on Facebook, especially. For some reason, I think Facebook is way worse than Instagram.
You don't spend enough time on Twitter. Twitter is the most toxic
Twitter
site on the
too.
internet. Twitter is by far
All
the
of
worst.
it, I think. I mean, they're gonna read negative comments. They're gonna find out new information on things that they probably don't need to know about at that age. I mean, when they sign up, do you need your parents' permission at 13?
It's probably like a
so.
checkbox. Like,
It is.
It's not like it's.
It's not like you get a permission slip and you like turn
It's
it
just
into
like
Mark
an
Zuckerberg.
adult site where it's like, you're
Right.
18, right?
Right, yeah.
Yep. Like,
Well, I think there should be some kind of where parents have access to their Facebook at all times if they're that young.
Now, I have a friend who has her daughter is on Instagram and she has full, she's completely on it, can see everything that her daughter posts or reads or whatever it is, likes, all of that. But still, you just don't, because you're not able to filter the content.
Yeah,
the
what's
content coming at you, even on Instagram. There's times when I'm on it and I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I just see here?
I agree.
And a 13-year-old to be expected to filter through that that content and think that some of it's normal or some of it's not, and also the bullying.
We had a viewer, Kim, text us about that this morning. She said she didn't want their child exposed to the bullying. She says that happens enough at school.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
you guys remember school. It's a lawless place.
So
I had multiple
hard.
bullies, let alone the online bullies.
No, know.
We have a lot of viewers weighing in right now in the comment section. Gabriella says anything younger than 12 years old is too young.
Yeah, I think
but
you're
Stephanie makes an interesting point, and we had other viewers make this point this morning. More important than age is maturity and parental communication regarding the risks and the dangers of social media. We've had a lot of ages thrown out. Angela says 16, Denise 14, David says 15. Haviza says pre-high school, but the longer you wait, the better. David makes a great point. 45 should be the age.
45.
I was actually going to joke on the show today. Like, I don't think until you turn 30, you shouldn't be able to handle social media because we were talking about this off camera too. You see a headline and you interpret it as fact or some part of the headline. You skew it with your own internal biases without actually clicking the story and reading the information. And I feel like that's so easy to do even for adults who function at a higher cognitive level, let alone kids who are just exposed to this information. This is how you end up with these urban legends and like old wives' tales that get spun into fact. You know what I mean?
I was listening to a speaker on social media, and he was talking about the problem with Facebook and with Instagram is that it almost creates a sort of tribalism because the algorithm is that whatever you like, you will see more of. So you're constantly being fed information. If you're a Republican, constantly fed information about being a Republican. If you are, of some faith or whatever, you're constantly seeing the same things of people that are like you, and it creates almost these different tribes of people that then, if they see something different or contrary to their belief, it's like, oh my gosh, it completely throws them off. And how it's almost dividing us rather than bringing us together. I thought the idea was to bring people together to make it easier to communicate. I remember when I first got on Facebook, it was easy to communicate with my other friends at different colleges. Now, it almost is dividing everyone.
Right. People are always arguing and debating. People leave negative comments, and then someone else responds back to that negative comment, and then it keeps going and going, and then they start throwing jabs at each other, and they don't even know each other. It's all
I know you're not on the show very much, but you just got to interrupt us. Just smack
you
one
bring
of us and be like, I've got opinions too.
You bring really interesting points. No, I mean, I agree with all of that. I
just think that people also don't know. Like, we haven't nailed down as a society social media etiquette yet. Like, we just haven't figured out what's appropriate and what's not.
And we have some other issues that have sort of come into the forefront. And one of our viewers actually texted us about this morning. There are teachers that are requiring the use of social media in the classroom. That's our In Case You Missed It today. This was on the show on 12 today, earlier this morning. If you didn't see this viewer's text and our response to it, we'll give you a chance to look at it now and see if it frames your opinion on this whole issue. It seems like most kids have Facebook down. Instagram, Twitter, maybe all three, not to mention the other social media sites out there. According to nonprofit Common Sense Media, 78% of teens between the ages of 13 and 17 use social networking sites. A different report found the average age for children when they signed up for their account was just 12 years old. That's despite some sites like Facebook having an age restriction set at 13 years old. So we want to know what you think today. How young is too young for kids to be on social media? Text Team 12 your thoughts, 602-444-1212.
Had some great responses so far.
We have. The most profound came from Denise, and I'm really glad you texted us, Denise, because I had no idea this was a thing that happened. She said her niece's 7th grade math teacher required her to get a Facebook account in order to get part of her homework assignment.
Right.
So they took it to the district, and the school district actually sided with the teacher on this. Is that okay? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't think that's fair. Because I think that should be up to the parent, whether or not my kid's going to hop on social media and be susceptible to everything else that's on there just to get homework. There are so many other options.
I mean, colleges do that with Blackboard, right?
Yeah.
You have to log into Blackboard to get your homework assignments.
Sense.
But that's not a social media site.
No.
That doesn't come with all the things that Facebook comes with.
Exactly.
Denise, thank you so much for sharing. Let us know what you guys think. 602-444-1212. You can still text the number. We won't answer now, though, because we're not in the newscast.
A lot of people really upset, though, about what happened to Denise's niece. A lot of people.
Strange? I want to look into that story. I'm going to pitch that at our editorial meeting today and see if someone can look into that, because I've never heard of anything like that before.
It doesn't seem right. There's so many other options to, like we said on the show, to get homework assignments.
Maybe the teacher is just lazy and wants to use social media all the time, so uses that,
She uses Facebook.
Did the research have to do with something about social media? That would require you to get on there and kind of, I don't know.
Garrett says you shouldn't be on social media until after high school. And we're getting a lot of that. 18 years old.
Or what about when you don't get your driver's license till 16, right? Well, then maybe you shouldn't be allowed to be on Facebook until then either.
I wish we had a teenager in here If there's a teenager at home,
Are you watching?
Because I would love to hear, you know, do you feel like you're missing out if you're not on it because all your friends are on it? Remember that feeling of like when you were, you know.
Facebook in college was like that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you feel like you
what do
have
mean
to
don't
be
have a
part of
Facebook?
it. But I don't think it's Facebook. I think it's Instagram. Guys, I know that we are so out of it. But I think it's Instagram.
It's
That's
Instagram
the
now.
one that everyone wants to be on and not Facebook, which surprises me about this math teacher that Denise was talking about, that he would require them to get a Facebook account.
That's strange.
It's because he's on it all the time. I'm telling you, that's what it was. He's on it all the time.
Do you
he's
know
like, he's like, I want to use this all the time, so I'm going to have my students on there. Not only that, should you be friends with your teacher on Facebook?
No, some schools do not allow that.
You shouldn't be
at
friends with
all.
your coworkers on Facebook in general, I think. Just as a general rule.
Yeah.
I used to had a buddy that I used to work with. It's like, listen, man, it's nothing personal. I'm not
just
going to
don't
be your
do it.
friend until one of us leaves this station because
Really?
there's just too much drama that gets pulled in.
interesting.
Like it's a slippery slope. Whether it's
Yeah.
you called in sick, but then you posted a
Yes.
picture with family or something at some gathering, and then you're like, well, was he really sick? Should I even know this information? So it was just better
That's
off. to, like,
hard.
we're friends, but we're not Facebook friends.
That's kind of nice that the coworker would like tell you that.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I mean, like,
just not gonna do
I've
it.
tried to employ that practice, but it gets harder, especially
Here,
when you
yeah.
move to a new place and you don't know people, and then it's like, well, I kind of want friends. So.
But you seem like the weird guy who won't friend
Yeah,
anyone
no,
on
I'm not
Facebook.
accepting your friend
Yeah.
What
request.
do you do
I'm too good for that.
when the higher up requests you and then you?
Oh, your bosses,
Yeah,
yeah.
What do you do? Like, do you let it sit there? Do you decline?
Oh.
Do you accept it?
Sorry, bosses, I never check my Facebook account.
They're like, you're supposed to be on it every day.
All right, let's get to a couple more viewer comments before we move on with the
I'm
show
glad you
here.
passed that one.
Stephanie says not allowing kids on social media will make them sneak around.
I know,
And you have
that's
to
a
have
good
parents
point.
teaching them what's appropriate and what's safe.
That's a good point, Stephanie.
David says my 35-year-old son acts like a 14-year-old.
I saw that. Yeah. Said he posts like a 14-year-old.
Hey, Samantha, I'll give you kudos for this opinion, too. Maybe parents shouldn't tell other parents what's appropriate. Stop parent shaming.
Yeah.
You do
I
what
agree.
works for you.
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
you're right
It's a
about that,
case-by-case
Samantha.
basis.
You said that earlier.
Yeah, a lot of people say that because you know what it is.
Yeah.
Because maybe for
Every child's
for
different.
my child, I don't want them on, but maybe other parents like I'm okay with it
Yeah.
because he can see whatever. I don't know. You're right. Parent shaming is horrible. You know, we did have another story on the show today about how the FBI is cracking down on social media posts that, you know, are threats or things like that, especially in Arizona. So that's something to be aware of too. They put out a warning to say think twice before you post anything, because a threat that you post on Facebook or on social media is a federal crime. And they take those extremely seriously. That was another story that we brought up this morning.
Nessa says Android and Chrome have an amazing feature that sends parents the domain names of websites that the kids have visited. So there are different things you can use to sort of keep track of your kids' social media. We're getting more ages, 18, 20, 30. Some people say 0 to 70 is all the same. Nobody can handle social media responsibly.
That's true.
I know, we honestly have not figured it out. We haven't figured out how to make social media like, I think it started off positive. I'd like to think that. But
maybe the intent was positive.
You know,
but
maybe
it wasn't.
it wasn't.
Because
Yeah.
Facebook, if you remember, when Facebook was launched,
it was to grade girls.
It was a hot or not thing. Where
Yes.
you judged whether or not you'd sleep with somebody in your college class.
So to expect that it would morph into
No.
this great marketplace of like friendship is silly.
I would argue it's gotten better since then.
you're
I would
right.
argue for all of its faults,
Right.
Facebook is probably a healthier platform than it started out
It's so
as.
true, because when you really go back to how it began, it was a dorky, disgusting way to grade women.
Well, remember we talked about the story about a 12-year-old on Instagram sending inappropriate pictures. 12 years old, sending inappropriate
You
pictures.
received inappropriate pictures from a teenager.
Yes, that's what I'm referring to.
That's what she's referring to.
But yeah, sending it, and I was like, what the world?
Yeah.
What is this? I reported him, blocked him. I mean, 12 years old, sending pictures like
Unreal.
that. Like, it's
so
But really,
sad,
even
isn't
if,
it?
say, social media didn't exist, couldn't all those same things happen with texting or another online?
But it's so
type-
much easier to do it online.
Yeah.
They could also mail her pictures too.
You're-
You know what I mean? And listen,
we go through the mail, though, or
Yeah.
they do, to make
Yeah.
sure that there's nothing off.
Thank
So
you.
that I couldn't help. I just opened it, and there it was. And I was like, freaking out, you know?
it sad, though?
Yes, it's so bad. And I was like, I wish I could talk to his mother. Like, who is your mother?
Yeah.
So I can share with her that you were doing these kind of inappropriate things.
It breaks my heart.
John says if there was no Facebook, we can't watch you live. So
Yeah, darn it, that's a good point.
We can have
fair
it for
point.
positive things.
Yes, that
Just
is-
like this feel-good story. that we're
Oh
gonna
yeah,
have.
let's hear it.
All right, so
our extra
our extra
no, fresh squeezed juice.
Fresh squeezed
You
juice.
guys are
Get it.
confusing our
with extra
franchises.
shot.
Sorry. Extra shot of fresh squeezed
Extra
juice.
fresh squeezed juice. In case you missed it.
A couple extra squeezes. In case you missed it. All right, a California police officer's family has grown by one. After an unexpected call, Officer Jesse Wynn had met a woman several times while on patrol. He developed a relationship with her, driving her to shelters and detox centers, and he even tried to get her into rehab. Last year, his wife met the birth mother and formed a bond. The Wittens were at a Valentine's Day party when the birth mother called and asked them to adopt her little girl. Oh, look at her. They said yes. The baby now has 3 sisters. She was born prematurely and had to be detoxed, but is doing better now.
Look at that ball.
Oh my, what a cutie.
Boy, that's going above and beyond the college
Yes.
years, isn't it? Jeez Louise.
I can't imagine making a sacrifice like that and going out on a limb and doing all that he did there. That's a profound human being, right?
Giving
Yes,
that
it
little
is.
girl an incredible life. That's great.
See, we need more feel-good stories like that on social media.
And she's not going to be on social media until she's 15.
That's right, yeah. He's a cop, too. He's like, nope, I'm going to monitor it.
Angelica says, my kids are not and will not be on social media until they move out of my house.
Really?
Oh,
There are a lot of people saying that the old-fashioned social media was hanging out on the playground. Or
I would say, but so
old-fashioned social media was having a full-time job when you were
what
in
if
high school.
kids aren't on social media and then they get picked on at school for not being on social
Right.
media?
Oh, it
Like, we
happens.
all do it. How come you're not on it? What's wrong with you?
Then
Like,
you give them the parental standby. If your friends jumped off a bridge, would you jump off a bridge too?
good point.
good one.
That's always one of those irrefutable mom
Yeah.
things to say.
Yeah.
Like, well, if your friends do it, doesn't mean that you need to.
You
be
know
doing
what?
it.
Jimmy Q always.
Your friends don't live in this house.
He always says, give your kids an excuse. So have them blame
Yeah.
you.
Right, your
It's my
parents,
parents.
yeah.
My parents are so
My mom
lame.
said
It's
that
my
too.
mom. She's so lame. Like, just be that excuse. Be that extra bit of security that they can use.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's your job, I think, as a parent. It's easy for me to say because I'm not a parent. You have to set kids up to handle that kind of bullying too, because if it's not going to be social media, it's going to be something else. You're always going to be picked on for something, even in your adult life. And so I think exposing them to that at a younger age and knowing how to battle that is not necessarily a bad thing. Like, yeah, you're going to get picked on for the way your nose looks and how heavy you are or how tall you are, like, or whether or not you use social media. Life is full of critics, you know?
Yeah, you have to have thick skin, especially in the business we're in. I mean, we hear it all the time.
Yeah.
You know, from viewers, from people commenting.
I think that's what bums me out is just to hear how far people will go to put someone down for no reason.
Yeah, and they don't even know you.
No.
No, it's bad.
Yeah, we can be better. We will be better, right? Yeah.
All right, let's get to the extra shot. Crystal, why don't you do the honors?
Oh, all right. Oh, okay. Well, plenty of good stuff this week on 12 Today. Coming up tomorrow, we're joined in studio by the owners of Sassy's Bakery. Oh, I was just at I didn't know this was coming up.
Go on.
I just, oh my gosh, berry salad.
I'm excited about
berry
this now. I
salad
don't know what's
there,
going on.
and the cupcakes. How do you choose which one you want?
The
You want
diet's
them
off
all.
tomorrow.
And
No, it's on. I'm not eating baked goods tomorrow. You're not doing this
can
to
you
me.
bring us some cupcakes? Oh, the little red velvet.
Very
Oh.
incredible.
Okay, sorry.
Why?
If they're
Stick to
little,
the
it's
prompter.
fine.
Okay. They're a Valley couple who are no strangers to TV. They've been featured on several Food Network TV shows, even making it to the finals of Food Network Season 2 of the Holiday Baking Championship.
Yes, so now they are premiering a brand new show with Buddy. You know Buddy, the cake boss?
Oh, yes!
He has a brand new show, and they are featured on it. So they're going to tell us a little bit more. They can't say too much, but the premiere's happening this week. They're going to be on our show
Hey,
tomorrow
Michael,
talking all
show the
about it.
prompter real quick.
Why?
This is why you don't stick to the prompter. The Holiday Banking Championship.
Oh, we're really good with money.
That's a different show. They love money. All right.
Thankfully, I didn't go all Ron
way to go.
Burgundy and I said baking, right?
I'm Ron Burgundy.
I would have done that.
The Banking Championship, guys. Their checking account.
Whoa.
So excited for Sassy's. I just love them.
Oh, yeah, you're going
Now
to be here
I'm
tomorrow.
excited.
Yes, I'm here tomorrow. Yay!
They're incredible. And they're so fun.
All right,
You know what else
do we
I'm
have on
excited
tap?
about?
Yeah, hit us. Hit us with that D-backs
The
news.
Diamondbacks are getting ready for Hispanic Heritage Day this weekend, and so are we on 12 News. So make sure you join us Friday for D-backs Fan Friday. We're focusing on Hispanic heritage with a preview of Catal Marte's Luchador bobblehead.
Oh, it's a luchador. I didn't know
That's
that.
what I was trying to think about yesterday
Oh,
when we were
that's
talking
sweet.
about. We'll also talk about the team heading to Mexico for part of spring training.
Cool.
They also have a big fiesta going on Saturday
they have
from
special
2 to
food?
5. Yes. Music, food, authentic Mexican food.
Oh,
Yeah. We have an area called La Terraza at the ballpark that you need to come check out. We're going to have live music
I
there,
don't know what
too.
that means, but I like the way you say it.
So it's a joke at the ballpark because I will be saying my promo normal, and all of a sudden I'm like, La Terraza, or the Piñata, or the Tortillas. So it's a big joke that we have at the ballpark. And they're like, Vanessa, where are we going today? I'm like, La Terraza. So anyways, it's a really cool area. You need to check it out. It's on the Upper Concourse in right field. So you don't want to miss that this weekend. So there's a lot going on. So the first 20,000 fans will receive that bobblehead.
Oh, that's so fun.
You're stealing us one, right?
Oh, we tried.
You know, she's famous from those bobbleheads. They put her face on the side of one. Remember
Oh,
that?
I still need the box.
Oh, it's on my desk still.
Yeah,
You
the
know
Game
where
of
I send
Thrones
it to.
bobblehead.
Yes. If you have the Game of Thrones Diamondbacks bobblehead, it has Vanessa's mug on the side of it.
I vote a Vanessa bobblehead.
You know, a few
When's it
fans have
coming?
brought that up, and
Yeah.
I think they should, if they ever do one, it should be Mike and I together. You know, it'd be one bobblehead with
Just
us
like clanking heads.
because we're
Yeah,
like
the
we're a
two
little team. We started 2007 together, and we're still here together. So if one goes, the other one goes. So we got to make.
I can't believe how long you've been doing it.
I know, 12 seasons. I can't believe it.
Gosh, that's amazing.
It's gonna be a good weekend over there.
Hey, thanks for joining in on the discussion today. It's really interesting to get your insight, especially when it comes to social media, because we are doing this show on Facebook. So, kind of makes sense. You're an expert.
It's a double-edged sword, everybody. Thanks for swinging it with us. We'll see you back here at 7:30 tomorrow morning. Or you can wake up extra early and put us on the TV.
Yes.
12 news, 4:30
Even better.
to 7. We'll see you there. Be good, people.
Bye, everyone.